Hello, my friends. Welcome back to English Unleashed. I'm Tom. Today, I want to talk to you about a feeling that many English learners know very well. It is the feeling of being stuck. Maybe you have studied English for months, maybe for years. You watch videos, you listen to podcasts, you learn vocabulary, you understand more than before, but when you try to speak, the words do not come out easily. Your mind becomes busy and you start thinking too much. You feel slow, you feel nervous, and you say to yourself, maybe I'm just not good at English. But my friend, listen carefully. You're not bad at English. You are just stuck. And being stuck does not mean you have failed. It does not mean you are lazy. It does not mean you are not talented. It simply means your brain needs a different kind of practice. Many learners think that learning English is like climbing a ladder. They think every week should be higher than the week before. They think every month should feel better than the last month. But language learning is not always like that. Sometimes you climb, you go up, and sometimes you stop. Sometimes you go very slowly, and sometimes you feel that nothing is changing even though your brain is still learning quietly in the background. And this is very important. Progress in language learning is not always loud. Sometimes progress is quiet. You do not feel it. Sometimes you are improving, but you cannot feel it yet. Think about a tree. When you look at a tree every day, you do not see it grow. You do not wake up in the morning and say, wow, the tree is much taller now. No, it looks the same. But under the ground, the roots are moving. Inside the tree, small changes are happening. After a few months, you suddenly notice that the tree is bigger. It is stronger. It is more alive. Your English can grow like that. You may feel stuck, but inside your mind, small changes are happening. You are hearing English more clearly. You are recognizing more phrases. You are understanding more natural speech. Your mouth is slowly getting used to English sounds. Your brain is slowly building connections. So please do not judge your whole journey by one bad speaking moment. One difficult conversation does not mean your English is bad. One forgotten word does not mean you are not improving. One slow answer does not mean you cannot speak. It only means you are still learning. And that is normal. Today, I want to give you a simple routine. It is not complicated. It is easy. It does not need a book. It does not need a teacher. It does not need a perfect environment. You can do it at home. You can do it in your room. You can do it while walking. You can do it for 10 minutes a day. This routine has 3 simple steps. Listen, repeat, change one word, and say it again. That's it. Listen, repeat, change one word, and say it again. This sounds simple, but it is very powerful. Why? Because many learners only listen. They listen to English, but they do not train their mouth. Other learners repeat sentences, but they repeat them like a machine. They do not learn how to use the sentence for themselves. This routine helps you move from listening to speaking. It helps you take English from other people's mouth and slowly make it your own. Let me show you. Imagine you hear this sentence. I feel a little tired today. First, you'll listen. Do not speak yet. Just listen to the sound of the sentence. I feel a little tired today. Listen again. I feel a little tired today. Now repeat it slowly. You can repeat it with me. I feel a little tired today. Good. Now repeat it again, but try to copy the rhythm. I feel a little tired today. Okay. Now comes the important part. Change one word. Instead of tired, you can say busy. I feel a little busy today. Now change another word. I feel a little nervous today. Now change the time. I feel a little nervous this morning. Now make it true for you. I feel a little tired this evening. Do you see what happened? You did not just repeat English. You used English. You created your own sentence. You trained your brain to speak with a pattern. This is how fluency grows. Fluency does not come from memorizing thousands of separate words. Fluency comes from using simple patterns again and again until they become easy. Let's try another sentence. Listen first. I'm trying to speak more English every day. Listen again. I'm trying to speak more English every day. Now repeat. I'm trying to speak more English every day. Good. Now change one part. For example, you could say, I'm trying to listen to more English every day. I'm trying to read more English every day. I'm trying to think in English every day. I'm trying to practice for 10 minutes every day. Now this sentence is yours. You can use it in real life. You can say, I'm trying to improve my pronunciation. Or you can say, I'm trying to speak more naturally. Or, I'm trying to feel more confident. This is not just repetition. This is speaking practice. And when you feel stuck, this is exactly what you need. You do not need to punish yourself with harder and harder material. Many learners do that. They feel stuck, so they choose a very difficult podcast, a very difficult movie, or a very advanced book. Then, they understand only a little and they feel worse. But when you feel stuck, the answer is not always more difficulty. Sometimes the answer is more use. Use the English you already know. Take simple sentences and make them flexible. Flexible means you can change them. You can move them. You can use them in different situations. For example, take this phrase. I didn't know how to say it. This is a very useful sentence. Listen again. I didn't know how to say it. I didn't know how to say it. Now change one word. I'll give you some time to do that. Great. You could say, I didn't know how to explain it. I didn't know how to describe it. I didn't know how to ask. I didn't know how to answer. Now you should make it more personal. I didn't know how to explain my idea. I didn't know how to answer the question. I didn't know how to describe the problem. This is real speaking practice. You're teaching your brain that English is not only something to understand. English is something you can move, change, and use. Now let's talk about why learners get stuck. One reason is that they wait for confidence before they speak. They think, when I feel confident, I will speak. But my friends, confidence usually comes after practice, not before practice. You do not become confident by waiting. You become confident by doing small things again and again. You speak one sentence, then another sentence, then another sentence. Some sentences are good, some sentences are messy. Messy means not perfect, not clean, maybe a little confusing. But that is okay. Messy practice is still practice. A child does not learn to walk by waiting until walking feels easy. A child tries. The child falls. The child tries again, and slowly, walking becomes normal. So, speaking is the same. You do not need perfect English to begin speaking. You need simple English and regular practice. Now, another reason learners feel stuck is that they compare themselves with others. They watch someone speaking English very quickly and naturally, and they think, why can't I speak like that? But you do not know that person's full story. Maybe they have practiced for 10 years. Maybe they live in an English-speaking country and use English every day. Maybe they speak every day at work. Maybe they have made thousands of mistakes before reaching that level. Comparison steals your energy. Instead of comparing yourself with other people, compare yourself with your old self. Could you understand this podcast 1 year ago? Could you listen to English discomfortably 6 months ago? Can you say more sentences now than before? Can you understand more natural phrases? That is the real comparison. Your English journey belongs to you. Now I want to give you a small speaking practice. You can do it with me. You do not need to answer perfectly, just speak slowly. I will give you a sentence. First, listen. Then repeat. Then change one word. Here we go. I want to speak more clearly. Now repeat after me. I want to speak more clearly. Okay, now change one word. Great. Perhaps you could say, I want to speak more naturally. I want to speak more confidently. I want to speak more slowly. I want to speak more often. Good. You're doing a fantastic job. Okay, so let's review the three-step routine. Step 1, listen. When you listen, do not try to understand every single word. Listen for the general meaning. Listen for useful phrases. Listen for sentences you can use in your own life. Step 2, repeat. When you repeat, do not worry about sounding perfect. Try to copy the rhythm. Try to copy the feeling. Speak clearly. Speak slowly. Let your mouth get used to English. Step 3. Change one word and say it again. This is the magic step. This is where your brain starts working. This is where English becomes active. You're no longer just copying, you are creating. Remember that small practice is not weak practice. Small practice is how real progress happens. 10 minutes every day is better than 2 hours once a month. 5 sentences every day are better than 50 sentences once and then nothing for 2 weeks. Your brain loves repetition. Your mouth loves repetition. Your confidence loves repetition. So, here is your simple practice for today. Listen to the story that I will read for you in the next part. Listen to one sentence. Repeat it 3 times. Then change one word and say it again. Then change another word and say it again. Then make one sentence about your own life. And that, my friend, is enough. Do not make it too complicated. Are you ready? Here's the story.
In a quiet mountain village, there was a small monastery made of old stone and dark wood. The air there was cool and fresh. Pine trees stood around the monastery like silent guards. In the morning, the bells rang softly. In the evening, the wind moved through the trees and made a low, peaceful sound. In that monastery, there lived a young monk named Tenzin. He was kind, quiet, and eager to learn. He woke up early every day. He swept the floors. He carried water from the well. He helped in the garden. He read old books and listened carefully to the older monks. He wanted to become wise. More than anything, he wanted to understand life deeply. But Tenzin had one problem. He was always in a hurry to find answers.
Please tell me the secret now. Please show me the truth now.
One cold evening, Tenzin was in the prayer hall, cleaning the floor after the evening meal. The hall was large and silent. The corners of the room were dark. Only one small candle burned near the front of the hall. Tenzin looked at the candle and... The old master entered the room slowly. He was a thin man with calm eyes and gentle steps. He saw Tenzin looking at the candle and asked, "What are you thinking?" Tenzin bowed and said, "Master, I am thinking about wisdom. I study every day. I work every day. I pray every day. But still, my mind feels full of questions. I want to understand life, but the answers stay far from me." The master looked at the small candle. Its flame moved gently in the cold air. Then he said, "Take this candle and walk to the far end of the hall." He picked up the candle carefully and began to walk. The flame was small, but it lit the floor in front of him. One step, then another step, then another. Slowly, he crossed the room. When he reached the far wall, he turned around. The master was still standing near the door. "Master," Tenzin said, "I have done it." The master nodded. "Tell me something. When you first looked at the hall from where you stood, could you see the whole way clearly?" "No," Tenzin replied. "It was too dark." "But when you walked with the candle, could you move forward?" "Yes," said Tenzin. "I could see enough for the next step." That is how wisdom comes. Tenzin looked at the candle again, but he did not fully understand. The master came closer and said, "You want all the answers at once. You want the whole road to be bright before you begin. But life does not work that way. A small light is enough for the next step, then the next, then the next." Tenzin stayed silent. The words were simple, but they entered his heart slowly. That night, he could not sleep well. He lay awake on his small bed and thought about the candle. He thought about the dark hall. He thought about his own impatience. He began to see something true about himself. He was not only searching for wisdom, he was also fighting with time. He wanted to become complete too quickly. The next morning, the mountain was covered in mist. After breakfast, the master told Tenzin to go to the village below and bring back rice and oil from the market. Usually, Tenzin liked this task because it gave him a chance to move quickly and finish something useful. But that day, the path was wet and slippery. As he walked down the mountain, he remembered the candle. "One step is enough," he whispered to himself. At one narrow part of the path, he almost slipped. He stopped, took a breath, and looked carefully at the ground. Then he moved more slowly. For the first time, he did not feel angry about moving slowly. He simply paid attention. When he reached the market, he found many people there. Farmers were selling fruit. Women were carrying baskets. Children were running, and a very old woman stood near a small table with only a few vegetables to sell. She looked tired and weak. Some people walked past her without stopping. Tenzin bought the rice and oil for the monastery. Then he looked again at the old woman. Something in his heart told him to help her. He walked to her table and asked,
Grandmother, may I carry these for you?
My home is far, and the road is steep.
I will carry them.
So he lifted her basket and walked beside her. The woman moved slowly, very slowly. At first, Tenzin felt the old impatience rise inside him again. He wanted to finish and return to the monastery before noon. But then he remembered the candle. A small light. One step. Enough for now. As they walked, the woman spoke. She told him about her husband, who had died many years before. She told him about her son, who had gone to another town and never returned. She told him that she still worked every day because she wanted to live with dignity. Tenzin listened quietly. When they reached her small house, the woman smiled and said, "You carried my basket, but more than that, you gave me company. Thank you." Tenzin bowed. "Thank you," he said. On the way back, his bag felt heavy, but his heart felt strangely light. He realized that he had learned something important that morning, not from a book, not from a lecture, but from walking slowly beside another person. When he returned to the monastery, the master was in the garden pouring water on small green plants. "You are late," the master said. Tenzin lowered his head. "Yes, master. I stopped to help an old woman." The master looked at him for a moment and then asked, "And what did you lose?" Tenzin thought carefully. "I lost a little time." "And what did you gain?" "I gained understanding."